Welcome back. I decided to do something a little bit different today. I'm going to show you a bunch of my bar tools. I have a fair amount of them, so hopefully you find something that you like. Let's actually start with this. This is actually a dish drying rack from Yamazaki. I really wanted a bar grill because, as anyone who has tried to make drinks at home will tell you, it gets quite messy. But there's not a whole lot of innovation in that space, and when you do find a sleek sort of bar grill, it tends to be like a stainless steel situation. Maybe it's a bit more expensive. But this, it looks really sleek on the bar, and let's see if I can do it. So you can lift this part up and wash it off, which is really easy. I have the base on my bar, which is actually a glass top with some museum putty underneath it, and then I usually just kind of wipe this part down. And with the museum putty, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to pick up the whole thing. So yeah, that's what I'll normally do, is just kind of wipe out the base and hand wash this top part. But maybe like once a month I'll just pop this right off the bar and I'll give it a deeper clean. But usually I'm not spilling too much in this tray, so it's more maybe after I've had some guests over and things are even messier than usual at the bar. Then it might be time for a deep clean, but usually it's not too bad. Okay. let's get into some other stuff. So I actually have 3 bar spoons. This one is getting a little worse for wear. I might swap this out for a different bar spoon. It's hard to get a good copper one because they do get really exposed to a lot of acids with like sours and things like that. But it's a shame. It's a nice one. It has a little trident on the end for spearing garnishes. Yeah. My stainless steel ones are holding up pretty well. I always prefer a bar spoon that has one of these twisty handles. If you follow me on TikTok, you've probably seen some videos to show you how to guide liquid down one of these, so it helps you disperse it in your cocktail. But yeah, these are pretty good. One of these is a barfly, and I'm not sure what this other one is actually, but I have 2 of them. I don't remember why. And they do the job. I hand wash all of my bar spoons, so even these ones that are stainless steel, if you put them in the dishwasher, these grooves, they don't like that. So let's talk about my muddler. It probably needs an oil treatment, but works just fine. I will probably get a stainless steel one with like a silicone tip, just for cross-contamination reasons. But this one's worked really well for me, so I won't get rid of it. I'll just have another one for when I have guests. It's also important to note when you are muddling something, you don't need to always tear things up, especially if you're shaking it over ice. The ice will do a lot of what you need it to do. So, yeah, I think muddling is really more when you're dealing with fruits, I would say. Something that really needs to have the juice pressed out of it, but something like mint, just a little press. A little couple presses will do. Now, if you've been watching me for a bit, you've already seen this in the tiki video. This is the swizzle stick. There's a lot of tropical and rum content coming your way later this summer, so you will get to see this in action, don't you worry. But yeah, it's a very cool interpretation of a swizzle stick. Think of a tall drink with a lot of pebbled ice in there, and that'll be the perfect drink to use this. Let's see if we can get close here. Yeah. Here is my Y peeler. It's just a standard OXO Y peeler. Has a silicone grip, which is nice. You're dealing with citrus. It's very juicy and messy. It's nice to be able to hold on to this. But yeah, I think the big thing with any sort of peeler, because when I first got started, I honestly was using a lot of just your standard sort of vegetable peeler for things, but I don't think you necessarily need a Y peeler if you have something else. What really matters is how fresh your citrus is. So, but I do love this. I've had it for a few years now. Still looks and works like new. Yeah. So these are my hawthorn strainers. Let's start with this one. This one is actually from a nesting partner. They work in the film industry, so they just kind of get a lot of, they end up with a lot of stuff and a lot of cocktail sets, which aren't great. Don't get like a batch set. Individually build your bar tools. This was one of the salvageable ones, but I wouldn't use this for something that I really want to have strained out. I would use this if I was maybe double straining, because you can see the coil isn't super tight. So yeah, there's that one. Now this guy, I bought this. You can see the spring is super tight. Very little is going to get through this bad boy. You can also, because it's so tight, you can just pop out the spring and easy cleaning. And then, let's see, just pop it back on, and there we go. So then I have a couple of julep strainers. They're pretty much the same, even though they're different brands. I believe this one is Visky. I'm not sure what this one is. It's probably Barfly, if I'm being perfectly honest. But a julep strainer tends to come into play when you are doing a stirred drink. It fits in like so. You can also do this the other way, but yeah, this is really just up to your personal preference and what feels easier. I prefer this way, and either way you get more leverage once there's actually ice in here. And speaking of double straining, this is just a little fine mesh strainer. Nothing to write home about, but comes in handy. I am sorry about all the noise. All of a sudden, I think I just started to live under a flight path. I don't know. Like, I lived here for some time, but now all of a sudden there's all these planes. It's a pretty residential street, but there's more and more cars. There's more and more cars. So, This is an absinthe spoon. I don't have the absinthe spigot that like slowly releases water over the top, but you can honestly just put this over an absinthe glass and get a little sugar cube on there and just slowly pour some water over it and into a glass that has some absinthe in it already, and you'll get pretty close to the same effect as you would having used an actual absinthe device. So if you really love absinthe, all you really need is an absinthe spoon or two. So next up I have a bunch of jiggers, just so many jiggers. Okay, I have 4, but I used to have more, as I mentioned, because my partner had all these cocktail sets. I think this is the only one that survived from there. I think this is more of a British style, if I remember correctly. I think this side is only half an ounce, and then this side is an ounce. This is really... So this is really good if I just need those specific measurements, but I think that's why I kept it, but I actually rarely use it. So there's that. This is another little OXO strainer. I think I got it because we were, I threw a cocktail party, a holiday cocktail party with my nesting partner a couple years back, and I just wanted something that was pretty easy for people to use. And yeah, I think this is a really great jigger for beginners. It also comes in stainless steel, so there's that. Speaking of stainless steel, this was my daily driver. I'm pretty sure this is barfly, but anything that I use, it's probably in my Amazon storefront. So Past J has already thought about this. Very musical, like a bell. But yeah, this is standard 1 ounce this end, 2 ounces on that end, and it's got some lines in there for your other measurements that you would need. I believe this one does 3/4 of an ounce and then half an ounce. And then this side has a 1.5 ounce line. So this is the newest jigger to the bunch, and I absolutely love it. This one's even more like a bell. But yeah, so this is a copper jigger. It's hammered in. Probably my most expensive bar tool to date. There's another plane. But they actually, let's see, they have little notches. Not sure if you can see that, but they have little notches to show where your partial measurements are, but these are basically the same. I think that's it for today. It is getting progressively louder. So I'll say goodbye to you with one of my dawa sticks. I have a video about that already on my channel, so go ahead and give that a gander.